B96, Styles and Roman hanging out right now. Blue Cross Blue Shield. My voice is a little faint because we were screaming like two little girls. He's hanging out with us right now. Kanye West, Chicago's very own. What up, man?
Yo, what's up?
Dude, first of all, we saw the show last night. Amazing. Like, honestly, you blew us away last night. Like, I'm going to go on record saying, for me, that was the best hip-hop concert I ever saw in my life. Like, for real.
And what was the best concert you ever saw in your life?
Well, here's the deal. I knew you were gonna ask that question, right? But like, I'm a big fan of all different kinds of music, you know. So for me, I'm a huge Bon Jovi fan. You're gonna laugh at me, but like for like, you know, like that was I grew up like idolizing those guys. So for me, that was it. But like for real,
you were talking about Taylor Swift though.
No.
Just because Kanye is here now.
I like all kinds of music, like all kinds of music. But for real, like I'm not joking. I've seen a lot of hip hop shows, and like you're on a whole different level with this concert. The Yeezus tour, just by far and away, was the best. Could you ever, as a little kid here in Chicago, imagine the theatrics and the production that you just got off stage last night at the UC4?
Yeah, because I saw Walt Disney World and I said this was made and this is possible. So, you know, I haven't scratched the surface of what I can really do.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's crazy because like other artists, they have like 13 background dancers. They have a band all helping them out. You know, it was just you on stage. Like you had a couple of your, you know, I don't want to call them like dancers, but you had a couple
performance
people,
artists.
Performance artists.
Cool. There you go.
But I mean, basically, it's just you on the mic, and you performed for about 2 hours and 15 minutes last night at the United Center.
Yeah. It was cool.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And the coolest part I thought was that how you just said a little off the air for a second that Homecoming was the first time you performed it was last night here in Chicago. Was that? Did you know you were performing that song? We saw you go off stage and talk to your band leaders and everything like that. Like, was that an impromptu thing or was that something you planned on doing?
Yeah, that was impromptu. You know, we just added that.
Yeah, just added it.
Yeah, just feeling the emotion of the city. And I was like, wait a second, we have to do this song.
We have to do that song, without a doubt. Did you feel a different vibe with it being your hometown of Chicago as opposed to maybe New York or LA? Could you tell that you were in your hometown last night?
You know, what's funny about that, yes, I do think that there's definitely a pride. And I think that in the media and everything that you read or ever see about me, everything is very Chicago in a way, like the way I act, the way I talk, the way I all my mannerisms.
The Timberlands, the Timberland boots.
Yeah, but just how I am, the way, you know, how truthful I am, how straightforward I am. It's like very Chicago. Like, you know a New Yorker from a mile away, you know a Chicagoan from a mile away and stuff. So it's very Chicago. And then what I've been doing is making the world be my home and having this world adapt to a very vocal Chicago personality, you know.
And I got to give you credit because you rep Chicago to the fullest in all of your songs. And whenever I see you on different interviews I've seen on video and stuff like that, like you always do bring it back to the fact that you are from Chicago. Growing up in Chicago, who were your influences? Because we didn't have, you know, the Tupac or the Biggies here growing up in Chicago. Who did you gravitate towards when it came to like music?
Well, yeah, music like No ID, Common, Twister, Psychodrama, Do or Die. That was like, those are the Chicagoans that I looked up to when I was first trying to make music. And I also looked up to Michael Jordan.
Oh, everybody looked up to Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
Was there ever a thought in your mind last night that you were like, should I bring Do or Die out on stage?
No, I don't bring anybody on stage.
Nobody. No one gets the cameo.
But when you come back to Chicago, you're always traveling. You're doing, you know, worldwide. What's the first thing? Is there a food? Is there a place you need to go to when you return home to Chicago?
Yeah, definitely JJ's Fish, Harold's. I need to partake now, actually.
Yeah. We need some Harold's chicken. Who can bring that to us right now? What's up?
Everybody's got their own favorite Kanye West song. I told you earlier, Mama's Through the Wire. For some reason, that song still just, I love that record. What's Kanye West's favorite Kanye West song?
Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Really? What's the reason for that? Like, why is that?
You know, it still applies. Like, in way. You just want a moment where no one could tell you anything, you know, just where you can just be fully expressive creatively. And, you know, that's what I want to get to. Like, people are always trying to tell me how and what to create and how to go about doing my paintings. You know, life is a painting. Life is a, you know, painting. And I just want to make mine a masterpiece. So that is my constant motivation. And I think that it was very new and timeless. At that time, that like kind of dark Coldplay type chords and singing put next to trap drums, that was modern, you know.
Do you feel like, you know, we're just hanging out with Kanye right now. Do you feel like sometimes that you get a bad rep? Because a lot of people look at you as like a musician, as an artist, but yet you feel, and I agree with you, that you are a talented crazy talented that you can do other things like design gym shoes. Like you have like the fashion that you want to go into. Do you feel like people just stereotype you as just a musician and you shouldn't go in those other directions?
Yeah, and I feel like that doesn't matter to me at all. You know, whatever feelings they have, it's just feelings at the end of the day. You know, so I'm gonna attack and create in whatever field I want to. So the issues that I've been having with creating like inside of the luxury market is the same as when I was in art school. You know, I wanted to paint with oils, but I couldn't afford them. So I would paint with watercolors and use them like they were oils. And I remember losing competitions because people said it didn't look like watercolor, it looked like an oil. So, you know, I'm an artist that can, you know, create with elegance, like a conductor, or, you know, Michelangelo, you know, the church wanted him to paint the Sistine Chapel and he wanted to create with marble sculptures. So that's like marble for me. And it's because I want to deliver more product to the world. It's not a personal thing. I'm not doing this to buy more cars. I could care less about, you know, another car. All I care about is, you know, being able to do a collaboration with the Gap, or being able to collaborate with Adidas or with Nike, or whatever. Just being able to make more. And I think that everyone's getting the message convoluted, and everyone's like coming up with all these suggestions and these this and that, and they don't see. It's like, no, it's like when I wanted to do Jesus Walks and everyone said, you can't rap because you don't look gangster enough, and no one's going to play Jesus Walks on the radio. And right now it's like, no, I want to create product. And it was like, no, but you're a musician, and you know, what will happen if you stop doing music, and you need to focus on this. And people try to tell me, you know, what to focus on. And I don't
can't tell you nothing.
Yeah, I can't tell me nothing. I don't really need to be told anything at this point. I just need to be given the resources to paint with. And a couple of times that I have painted, like when I did the first Yeezys, when I did the Louis Vuitton collection, you know, the merch we did last night, the couple times that I've like batted 1,000 on it. You know?
Absolutely, for sure.
You know, so it's just something that I want to do that inspires me. Every day I'm looking at images, I'm looking at fits, I'm dealing with fabrics, I'm dealing with color palettes, I'm thinking about all these places I travel, when I live in Paris, when I live in LA, when I live in, you know, Chicago, you know, and in the same way how you know, I'll say, and I know this always comes off as a very cocky statement, but it's more of a truthful statement. I'll say that soundtrack that I provided over the past 10 years has been the most important music soundtrack. You know, that even the biggest songs are still it's either the biggest or inspires the biggest over the past 10 years, from the College Dropout to now. College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Watch the Throne, Cruel Summer, Blueprint 1, Blueprint 3, John Legend, Big Sean. You know, if you ask Drake, he'd be like, oh, what's your, you know, favorite artist, or what's your biggest inspiration? So that was a contribution that I made to society. And this is, so if you ever hear like a comparison to a soldier or a police officer, what I'm saying is, I make a contribution to society,
yes,
and it should be respected as such. Why is it such a big deal to try to celebritize me or villainize me, rather than being like, wait a second, we like your songs.
Right.
You know, it's like, what makes me such a bad guy because I made songs and I want to try to create somewhere else? Or what did I actually ever do to actually hurt someone? Or did I hurt someone by saying, I love myself and I love you guys too? It seems like the world is all based off of people being taught to not think highly of themselves. And by you not thinking highly of yourself, you think less of other people, and you end up marginalizing yourself and marginalizing the people around you. Whereas I believe in myself and I believe in the people around me.
And those people aren't putting on your shoes every morning. So what does it really, you know what I mean? What does it really matter what other people, you know, think of you?
Well, what matters to me is, you know, a rational man adjusts to the world. An irrational man wants the world to adjust to them. So there's like a lot of times I might do things that people feel are irrational, but, you know, or crazy. All crazy is you seeing it halfway into the movie, you seeing it halfway into the project. The credits haven't rolled yet. You know, to have an idea that no one else would say, and for you to scream it really loud, that's crazy. For you to have an idea, scream it really loud, and be successful at it, then that's genius. Now, okay, so let's look at the past 10 years. With everything I'm saying, one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to be right or I'm going to be wrong. Let's look at the past 10 years. I've seen to been right.
Here's how big Kanye is. You were naming all your albums and you failed to mention 808s and Heartbreak.
Oh, that's my favorite album.
I mean, that's how big you are. You got so much catalog. You forgot to mention that album as a cultural difference. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy to me. But
I'm really small also. You know, I've did those albums, but how many? If Walt Disney was alive, how many movies could he name? You know, Steve Jobs, how many products could he name? You know, I'm big in some light, but I'm small in other lights. And this is the reason why I mention those names. Not to say I want to be the next version. I want to be the first me, but I want to put some context to the possibilities that we have and to aim high. And that lets the success a lot of times is the greatest disabler of creativity because you owe so much to what you previously did. What is the album that comes out? If my last solo album before Yeezus was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and is considered to be one of the top 10 sonic creations of all time, what is the next album after that? Well, just rip it completely apart. If I had started the album with Blood on the Leaves, I would have been trying to walk in the same shoes as Dark Fantasy. It's a formula to the way I would start my albums. But instead, it's like just keep on ripping it apart. And I almost think that I play with, you know, culture and society by being such a controversial character that it allows me to be free, because the more and more likable you are, the less free you are. You end up just getting to this place where you got like some like Vaseline on your teeth and you're waving like you're on a like you're on a float,
like you're fake.
And on the float, that's when you're big on that float. But I at any given time will get off that float and go, you know, kick a paparazzi's ass or like whatever I have to do. At any given time, I will get very small. I will get very Chicago. I will argue with you.
Yeah.
I will get very petty in half a second. So,
but I think people like love that. You know what I mean? I mean that's yesterday you were inspiring at the show because you were like, I'm from Chicago and my baby's mama is Kim Kardashian.
That was the line of the night, bro. That was the line of the night.
And the whole place goes bananas. You know, we're all like, damn, I want to be Kanye. I want Kim to be my baby's mama. You know what I mean? We're all like,
dude, that was the line of the night. You also said, I don't want to be the next Steve Jobs. I don't want to be the next David Stern. I'll be the first Kanye West. And I thought that was also like as funny as the baby mama line was. That was such an inspiring line about, well, I want to be the first Kanye West. Now, obviously, your passion's in music. Your passion in fashion, but last night you also said you want to get into movies and get into TV shows, creating those things. Like, what else do you want to do? Fashion, music, and for real, movies and TV?
Yeah, because if you think videos, I did Touch the Sky was like a baby movie. Gold Digger was like a baby movie. All these diamonds, those are baby movies. I've created maybe 50 pieces of content. So Donda is this is my design company. It's a content, experience, and product company. It covers all three of those things because they all relate to each other, and I have ideas on all of those things. So if I do a film, I'm also doing the clothing that goes in the film. I'm also doing the music, or I'm in charge of it. I'm coordinating. Like, you know, I might want to sit down and do an album with The Weeknd, James Blake, and Frank Ocean. Then I might want to sit and do another album with just me and Jay-Z. Or I might want to do something with another Cruel Summer or something with Pusha T, Big Sean, and, you know, 2 Chainz. Whatever, you know. One of my biggest thing I was saying last night is like creating with other people. If someone is doper at something than you, give them the power. Let people take the wheel. Be a part of it, but don't feel like you have to go in and sketch and fill in, ride the bike and turn up the music and just do every single piece of it. So even this tour, you know, I have an art director named Vanessa Beecroft that's a fine artist. I'm a fine artist, you know, also. Like, I got a scholarship to the American Academy Art Institute of Chicago and St. Xavier, and I actually went to art school. And I remember getting in trouble all the time. I know you're not going to believe this, but I got in trouble for being controversial.
Shocker.
Yeah. So lying right now. Come on now.
Yeah, but, you know, it's taking that. I think a lot of sometimes fine artists, they're very selfish with the way they want to express themselves. There's a lot of things that I've created that, like, I designed the sneakers for Giuseppe Zanotti, the original design I designed sneakers for, you know, Fendi, for Balmain, things that people don't know. It doesn't have my name on it. So people look at me as being really narcissistic or egotistical. And what I'm saying is, a lot of this past 2 months of interviews have been me saying, look, I've been under the wings. I've been sitting, playing it the right way at Nike and everything, but I've wanted to create more, and that been allowed to create more for no reason. And now I have a new product partner with Adidas, and I just got back from Germany yesterday, and it was one of the greatest creative days of my life.
Sneakerheads are wondering right now, what's the deal with Adidas, man? Shoe coming out soon or what?
Yeah, we'll have something in September, but I'm designing women's athletic wear. I'm designing men's athletic wear. We're gonna have my own standalone stores, and I wanna, people said I wasn't even a rapper, and now they can't even put my music into a genre.
Yeah,
so
right.
Before they said I wasn't a fashion designer. So let's just see what happens over this next
I'm
5 to 10 years.
I'm a size 10 shoe. What size are you?
I'm an 11.
Believe me, like all your anything that you're thinking of will like just be solved. Yeah, I'm a creative director. I'm an artistic director. I'm a cultural, innovator, and I love working with extremely talented people. There's a knitwear designer there that, she can make an entire jacket out of a piece of yarn. I couldn't begin to tell you how that goes. One of the guys that worked with me worked with Karl Lagerfeld for 20 years. One of the guys worked with Miuccia Prada for 9 years, and you combine that with this product company. One of the head designers at Adidas that I'm working with used to design cars, and that's what I say. Like these, at the end of the day, it's product, and the flavor, the colorway, the palette, the cut of the shoe is just an opinion. And I've just been saying I wanted to give my opinion, and people have been saying, "Hey, well, you're a rapper, so you can't give your opinion. You're a musician, so you can't give your opinion." Yeah, people have this perception that celebrities get deals. Yeah, but they get deals not to give their opinion. They give their deals to promote someone else's opinion. I'm not promoting nobody's opinion with my own.
Your own.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I say something wrong, it's still right. Because that was my opinion. That's how I felt.
Use that too. Use that too.
Now you obviously are one of the most talented people like in this generation, like without a doubt. Now you've also been a great soundbite over the years too. Yeah. Is there anything you've done or said that looking back you're like, I wish I didn't go there?
That's interesting that you say that, because I really don't like that people, in all the interviews that I've been doing recently, there's so much motivation, inspiration, and insight, and what they'll do is just take this one sound bite that sounds the most awkward in a way. So the things that I sit there and I'm like, you know what, let me just retract this statement. I think that we can compare ourselves to whoever we want to compare ourselves. And so when I do the comparison of soldiers or police officers, or on a different side, Steve Jobs or Walt Disney, what I'm saying is to not look at it like I'm some celebrity that's just sitting back and not working and not fighting and not contributing something to society. Like, no, this is a contribution. No, like, even just my messaging, I, put myself at risk in any way. And I speak in metaphors and analogies and parallels all the time. You could say I'm a soldier of love. So when I say a soldier or police officer, what I'm saying is that I look at that as the highest form of contribution to society. I look at these people as really giving themselves and their life. I looked at what Steve Jobs is the highest form of creativity. So when I do these comparisons, it's saying that that's the way I want to, that's how I want to give. There's so many people who, all they want to do is like get successful and not do anything. And I want to get successful and do everything, So I would say, I think that type of statement. And also there was another statement that I think that, I thought that I was giving a compliment, but if anything, it came off more ignorant when I said this comment about, Jews having money and blacks not having money like that. I think that it was kind of like an ignorant.
Who did you say that to?
I think it was like an ignorant compliment. But what happened is I was on I don't know how being told that you have money is like an insult. Right. That would be like if like somebody complimented like black guys and said all black guys got big penises, and then you don't want to be the black guy that raised your hand like, no, that's not true. I got proof.
I have a small one.
So I thought by saying like everyone had money, I thought that was a compliment. So it was like an ignorant compliment. So maybe I would like take that statement away.
Well, you know what, man? Being from Chicago, I mean, we are all behind you all the time. Yeah. Congrats on the engagement. Congrats on the baby. Yeah. Congrats on all the success, and
please don't take that as a soundbite that one statement I said. They cut it down and say Kanye said, all black guys.
Breaking news.
You gotta understand, man. We're both born and raised in Chicago as well, and before we were on this radio station, we were fans of Kanye West, like for real. So like we would never ever put you in a bad light at all. And I speak on behalf of this whole station, man. So proud of what you've been doing. Last night was such a great show. You really brought the album Yeezus to life, and I think that for an album that I think maybe was misunderstood a little bit, I think you really proved it and showed what this album is all about, and it was such a great thing to watch, bro. So congrats. It's all good. Don't worry about that. But
there's one black guy right now going, damn, I do have a small one though. He's like, what am I supposed to do about it?
Yeah, it's fine for things to be, misunderstood. Like, so, oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. And I think that new things take a while for people to understand. And my methods to my interviews it's like new. Interracial relationships on a very high pop level is a new idea too. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize that there's about 4 or 5 things that are very new at the same time about the explosion of, my messaging, the constant photos that they see. It's like they've kind of never seen that before. Even like with celebrity style, the fact that, our style is, being looked at high fashion, on a high fashion level too. Mm-hmm. People used to always just be able to diss, this is this Oscar dress and this is that, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like my girl is literally like getting photographed. And it's like a runway every day. But we have to be educated about what's really good, because I know that we're both really influential. Mm-hmm. So it's not, it takes work and it takes perseverance. When you first start, I couldn't even get a free jacket from Paris, and I remember saying, wow, I need this Balmain jacket. I need this one Givenchy shirt to fully express myself and become like a Michael Jackson of the generation. So with my girl, being that she was on a reality show, it was very difficult for us at first, for her to get like designers they would give like, Jennifer Lawrence 30 free dresses and not give her one dress because she was on a reality show. And we had to fight for that. And right now, the controversy, just keep in mind, we're in the middle of the fight. There was a time, literally, like rappers used to have songs dissing people for dating like a white girl or dating outside of their race. Even PE, a group that I look up to. So now I'm like the closest thing to PE, but I'm in an interracial relationship. So it's 2013 for real. This is like a new but it's like your iPhone. Your iPhone is like, 17 appliances you would have had, 20 years ago, all in one. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot. Like, and people, a lot of times I try to get these interviews and I lay it all down, but it would have been like, if you go to an Apple Genius and they explain everything that's in that iPhone, you might be like, fuck it, I don't even want this phone anymore.
Yeah, right?
And I think I go to like these interviews and I try to explain everything that's keeping me up at night, everything I want to do creatively, and every type of, battle that I've had, the battles that I've had trying to create more with Nike, the battles that I've had trying to create more with Louis Vuitton, and the battles and struggles and failures that I've had trying to create things on my own. It's not like I hadn't, done all of these things, but ultimately I want to create, and ultimately I want to help people. I want to help make things easier. I want to help change the way people receive product. I want to help, apply the information that I learned from being successful at making products, which I will over the next 10 years. I want to apply that to education, because both of my parents were educators. And right now, could it be in question? But ultimately, I will be successful. And the more I'm successful, the more other people will be successful. The more jobs I can apply, I can give, the more opportunities. I mean, just with Steve being successful and making the internet usable, how many people have now started jobs with, hundreds and hundreds of people, at Dropbox and at Twitter, just San Fran, Silicon Valley. That wouldn't boom if it wasn't for Steve saying, hey, let's make the computer easy to use. Now, there's a bunch of other fields, not just in music, because look, I gave my contribution and creativity, and I still will in music, but there's some other places where you can contribute to society to the level of what Disney did, because you can't look to the left or right of Disney and see another Disney. And right now, what I want people to see is like, when you see that stage open up and me at 36 and I say, I brought this mountain and it opened up, it was a Catholic procession came through it, whatever. It's like, I want you to look at whatever you saw 2 days before that and 2 days after that, and ask yourself, is it this? So when you have all that noise and all that blah blah blah, no, you know, my method is not like so much Michael Jordan. I might be a little bit more Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
I might be a little bit more jump in the audience.
There you go.
Off the track, yeah.
Well, we love it, man, and we could talk to you all day long, but we're getting the wraps on here, man. But Kanye, again, thank you so much, bro. We're big fans of yours. Congrats on everything. Congrats on being a dad and the engagement, and for real, just keep doing your thing, man.
And Merry Christmas, man.
Merry
Enjoy
Christmas,
it, bro.
man. Absolutely. Yeah.